Anyways, getting up and moving. Oh yeah. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over a 2022 Ram Power Wagon. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the National GMC here in American Fork for giving me some time with the Power Wagon. Check out the inventory in the description down below. This one is available for sale. They also have some TRXs and a few Raptors as well. They literally have like everything here. It's pretty crazy. But before we get into the video, I also want to mention I just released my car buying course. So if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to that in the description down below. It's super affordable. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 6.4 liter Hemi V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 410 horsepower and then 429 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Power Wagon. So first off, you guys can see the decal here on the hood. Definitely a cool signature element on the Power Wagon. Notice we've got the cab lights there at the top, full LED lights here, and notice we've got the reflector LEDs there in the background, fog lights just down below with the parking sensors integrated into the front. Notice we've got the gigantic tow hook. We've got the winch from the factory with synthetic cable. Notice we got a camera there at the bottom of the A in the Ram logo, and then we have the moustache front grille, and overall, great looking front end. Now coming around the side here, we've got 17-inch wheels, and wrapped around those we have 33s in the front and over in the rear as well. Now this one does have the bead lock capable wheels, so you guys can see the little rivets and everything on it. And you can see the front suspension. So this is lifted about 2 inches over a regular heavy duty. And then notice we've got the blue off-road shocks. We have the larger fender flares that also come with the Power Wagon. Notice we've got the 2500 heavy duty badge right there. The Hemi 6.4 badge just down below. Notice got the Ram logo here, and then we've got the two-tone that's also part of the Power Wagon package. And then notice that we've got the kind of like sidestep rock rail situation. This one does have the trailer mirrors, and got the Power Wagon logo there on the side. And then popping here to the rear, you guys can see again with the off-road shock. And then the benefit of this being a 2500 is it does have the 5-link coil suspension in the back end, which helps out with ride quality quite a bit. And don't worry, we'll go over the Ram boxes in a little bit, but there's your full side view. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock, lock, remote start, and then the drop down for the tailgate. And speaking of drop down, we have a payload capacity of 1,188 pounds. You guys can see here with the LED lights in the rear. And then we've got the cargo divider that comes with the Ram boxes. And then notice we've got the little rails here for the tie downs, or the cargo tie down hooks. Anyways, LED cargo light there at the top. And then lifting up the tailgate, very light and easy to get into place. And I guess we'll go over the rest of the rear. Now it's got the Ram logo, Power Wagon logo down below. And then we've got the receiver hitch at the bottom, parking sensors along the bottom, full LED lights. The center's blacked out to kind of make it look sportier. And then this one does have the Ram boxes, which apparently I don't know how to open them. We have an outlet on this side. You guys can see storage space is great. And notice a little drain there as well. The Ram boxes do lock and unlock with the truck, which is a cool function. And there you go. Now here's the door panel in the rear. You guys can see the blacked out trim and then the gray trim down below. And then notice the padding with the stitching throughout. And then this is a Laramie Power Wagon. So you can see we've got the leather seats here. We've got nice perforations with the seats. You can see the storage space underneath. And then notice this pulls out as well. And there's even more storage space underneath that. So we've got storage space on top of storage space. We've got heated seats, USBs. We got a full power outlet with the vents. Now this is the crew cab. That's the only cab you can get with the Power Wagon. However, the heavy duties are still built off of the older platforms, so this is a smaller crew cab compared to like a Ram 1500, but it's still spacious. Now here's the door panel at the front. You guys can see again the black trim and then the gray trim down below, and then all the padding with the stitching goes throughout. All of our window controls with the mirrors that do power fold in, and they've got blind spot monitoring. And notice you can also adjust the convex mirror with that. Got the memory seats. And then here are the front seats. So you can see again with the leather, Power Wagon logo, and then the perforated leather here in the center. Got your power adjustments here on the side. Pedal layout down below. And then notice here for the cargo outlet, got the light controls here, fog lights, cargo light, pedal adjustment, steering wheel is manually adjustable. There's what we'll look for we pop in. Now here is the steering wheel for the Power Wagon. You guys can see you've got the leather trim here at the top and the contrast of stitching, and then perforated leather here on the side so you get a better grip. Cruise control, gear limiter, radio controls there on the back, voice command, phone controls, controls for the center stack as well. Pretty normal setup. Also turn signal, windshield wiper stock. Can't forget about that bad boy. There you go. Here's the center gauge cluster. Notice that you've got analog gauges on either side with the screen in the center, and you got all the vehicle information you can go through. Also tire pressure, pretty high. Anyways, you guys can see all the different menus you can scroll through, and then fuel economy. This truck has 4,100 miles on it, so you can see what they're averaging so far, which is not bad for a big 6.4 liter V8. And there you go. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it in reverse, you got a backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. This one has the full 360 camera system, so you can see all the different viewpoints, and it also has the bed camera as well, which is pretty cool, and side views, which you can move to the side. Pretty cool. So yeah, great from a camera perspective. Moving on to the rest of the infotainment system, response time is great, and then you guys will notice that we also have dual zone climate, heated cooled seats, heated steering wheel, all that fun stuff, and this one's got navigation, and there you go. Analog controls here for the radio. We've got our analog controls for the heated cooled seats, heated steering wheel, climate controls as well, has dual zone climate. Got our parking sensors here for the front and rear, tow haul mode, stability control, hill descent control, trailer brake controls. And then notice here with the transmission selector, it does have the dial selector. We've got our drive line select, so we have our 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel low, 4-wheel high, true neutral. There's no 4-wheel auto. There is the sway bar disconnect. Axle lock, and then you can lock the front and the rear. So pretty much this makes this the most capable heavy-duty truck off-road because of all that. And then notice all of the auxiliary ports down below, and then the extra storage space. This one does have the bench seat configuration. Ben Hardy's gloves. That makes the truck worth more. Ooh, no, I'm just kidding. Anyways, you can see here with the storage space. And then notice we got the dual glove box, so it says Power Wagon on it. And you can see all the storage space here with the glove box. Notice all of the padding and stitching here at the top. Speaker for the Alpine sound system. And then we do have a power sliding window. And then all black headliner. Now, if you want the most up-to-date pricing on this Power Wagon, then check out National GMC's inventory in the description down below. Let's take this bad boy out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. There's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring. And then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Oh, let's set off here in the Power Wagon, right? You have to say Power Wagon because it's such a masculine vehicle. But anyways, let's talk about how this truck drives. First off, you definitely get that king of the road feel. It is just super tall. And you guys can imagine, since this has just 33s from the factory, if this had like 35s or 37s, it would be crazy. And I've had people comment down below that you can easily fit 37s on these because it just has so much space down there. It's kind of interesting that they still just use 35 or 33s rather from the factory on this truck. Anyways, getting up and moving. Oh yeah, we just put the power in Power Wagon. It does really good from an acceleration perspective. The 8-speed automatic paired with the 6.4 Hemi is just beautiful, really torquey, sounds great. And you know, Ram putting the 8-speed automatic in the heavy duties was just the best possible change, and it really does transform this truck. Steering, super light. It does feel like a big truck. There's no hiding the fact that this is a very large truck. That being said, though, it's cool. It drives great. Again, like I said, you get that king of the road feel. So I guess we will get into summing things up here at the Power Wagon. I know it's not a super long test drive, but I've done quite a few reviews on these Power Wagons, so we don't need to do anything too crazy. Ride quality is pretty good. Like I said, the tire pressure seemed pretty high to me. I would probably knock it down to like high 30s if I were driving this truck. Obviously, you're not going to get as much out of the tire tread if you have it with lower PSI, but then it's going to be a lot smoother over the bumps, but still very smooth over the bumps with the 5-link coil suspension in the back end. And then obviously the off-road shocks help absorb things just a little bit more. But, you know, should you buy the Power Wagon? Like, why would you even buy the Power Wagon? Does this truck make sense? It's huge, And you know, it apparently has all this off-road capability, but it's too big to fit anywhere, right? Here's what I have to say is, if you are into overlanding, which is becoming very popular, this would be a great vehicle for overlanding. First off, it's got pretty decent fuel range, but what the fuel tank lacks, you can put into the truck because this has tons of space. And speaking of tons of space, that's what makes it so great for overlanding, right? There's so much stuff you could fit with camping gear and everything. This is the type of vehicle that I would want to just take out to the middle of the desert and just drive for days, and it would be such a fun experience. And again, it's got all the stuff for that. It's got the front and rear lockers. It's got the sway bar disconnect. It has the ground clearance. It's got the winch if you get stuck, right? It has so much stuff going for it. And so that is where the Power Wagon really lies. So if you kind of want to have that adventure lifestyle where you go out for days, Power Wagon is going to help you with that. That's going to sum things up for our video on this 2022 Ram Power Wagon. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the National GMC here in American Fork for giving me some time with the Power Wagon. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.